What's going on, Tiger fans? My name's Erik with Be in the Know. Check us out on all your favorite social networks. So we're here for an emergency podcast with On the Tigers. Brian Kelly has officially been let go by LSU, and Frank Wilson would take over as the interim head coach. So Brian Kelly's gone. Let's go over his time at LSU. 34-14, 19-10 overall in the SEC. So if you combine Brian Kelly's other stops, Cincinnati, Central Michigan, and Notre Dame, as well as his time at LSU, he had a 21-17 record against SEC opponents. Simply can't cut it. Personally, I didn't really care for the hire at the time. It's just tough throwing that much money, that big of a contract at a guy of that age. Hopefully that's something LSU could learn from with this one. Obviously, it carries a massive buyout, and it's hopefully, like I said, LSU could grow and learn from this. So Brian Kelly did take the Tigers to an SEC championship appearance in his first year. At LSU, fans and just tradition, former players, man, if you have been on Twitter or really just tuning into a lot of radio stations in the area, you could hear these guys talking about, LSU playing LSU ball, meaning that, you had guys that were coming down here like you knew when you were playing LSU it was going to be hard-nosed football. Bust you in the mouth, not stop, impose your will on your opponent. Didn't matter, if you didn't have the best season, but you knew when you were coming to Death Valley or you knew when you were playing LSU, you better buckle your chin strap. You better be ready. You had guys like Brandon Taylor, T-Bob Bear, Jacob Hester, Brandon LaFell, LaRon Landry, Kelvin Shepard, Jai Eugene, Ron Brooks, Tyron Matthew. These guys would just Michael Ford, these guys would just come downhill and just impose their will on you. And that's something that's been lost here within the last few years at LSU. And hopefully with this next coach, that's something that could come back. Something that didn't sit right with me as well was you kept getting these top 5 recruiting classes, which is amazing, right? Anybody, any fan would want that, especially with this last transfer portal class, man. I mean, coming into the season, right, sky's the limit. Thinking this is the year it was supposed to be, right? We all heard the magical third year. This is year 4, so thinking, we got this big transfer portal class. LSU's coming. It's going to be a great season. And just the development, the message clearly wasn't getting through. I saw a picture of last night, the alma mater, right? LSU goes in front of the fans, says their alma mater. There was maybe 40 guys, and that's a stretch. You got a roster of over 100 guys. And only that many guys stay to, say the alma mater. Now, granted, the game was a horrible second half, but my opinion, that shows that the respect for BK was officially gone in that moment. Last night was, as an LSU fan, I mean, it was sickening. You saw A&M come into Death Valley and make it look like College Station. They made it look like how I feel. They took over your student section at one point. And I didn't think it would come this fast. I personally did not. I thought they would let him finish out the season at least. I personally thought he would even go into next season just because the buyout was so big. So I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see what happens now. Guys I would like to see stick around. Like I said, Frank Wilson's going to take over as the interim. I would like to see Cortez Hankton stick around, Corey Raymond, even Kyle Williams. Nothing against those other guys, man, but just Frank Wilson, I feel like you have to keep on staff no matter what. This guy knows how to recruit Louisiana, knows how to recruit New Orleans. He knows how to he knows every nook and cranny of the entire state, from the 318 down to the 985. He knows everybody, and he carries a respect with his name. So I feel that he's going to help you build that fence and keep that fence around Louisiana and keep these guys in state and, get that culture, get that LSU culture back. So, guys, I would like to see as possible replacements, right? First off, you got to do it, in my opinion. Call Nick Saban, make him say no. All right, just for S's and G's, Lane Kiffin would be interesting just because Lane Kiffin has any Lane Kiffin team is always going to have a great offense, I think Lane's good where he's at right now. I think he's enjoying Oxford, but again, call him, make him say no. This next guy, Dan Lanning, would be a dream, but it's going to be hard to keep up with Nike money. Tulane, right? Coach Summerall. I love what Tulane has going on right now. I think it would be a great hire for LSU. This is a guy that's clearly familiar with the area. It's an hour down the road. Another guy, Mark Norvell. He's had his struggles at Florida State, but I mean they're coming back pretty hot this season. Another guy, kind of a dark horse hire in my opinion, Kelvin Shepherd. This is a former Tiger who's currently the defense coordinator with the Lions. It'd be interesting to give this guy a call, just see what he would say. Clark Lee, guy that just absolutely stomped you with Vanderbilt. Give him a shout. Brent Key, I think he's good at Georgia Tech, but, it would be interesting to see if you can get him over. And Kenny Dillingham, I think, would be a good hire, too. This guy's 35 years old, a young up-and-coming coach. That I don't care who. If you don't hire anybody on this list I just said, I personally would like to see a young, up-and-coming, hungry coach who's going to take accountability, who's going to have his players' backs, going to have his coaching staff's backs, is going to fight for his team and fight for his coaching staff. That's what I want in this next head coach. I don't want already seasoned coach to come in here like we just had. I don't want to see that again. But that's just me. Another thing, and this is going to be the last thing I want to cover here. I drew a star by it on my notepad. Tommy Moffitt. The day Tommy Moffitt got let go by Brian Kelly and LSU was horrible. This guy built a culture at LSU. If you don't know who Tommy Moffitt is, he was a long-time strength and conditioning coach who is currently at Texas A&M. So I know that he had a little bit, more juice behind his message this week to his guys. And it was if you go back on Twitter, go back on X and look at the video, it's a rainy day and this guy's carrying boxes and just putting it into it looked like just a regular employee carrying their boxes out. This guy was a legend. You hear former players talk about this guy. They spend more time with him than their normal coaches, So anyway, that was my last thing I wanted to bring up about that. The day you let Tommy Moffitt go is the day LSU culture started to die, in my opinion. So Brian Kelly is officially done at LSU. Let us know what you guys think LSU is going to do next. Who would you like to see them hire? So check us out at Be in the Know on all your favorite social platforms. Thank you so much. Have a great week.